And welcome everybody out there in Twitch and D&D land to the newest session, part 2 of Solemn Sagas. Before we jump into the action, remember you can support this phenomenal community by clicking the links in the description below, giving us a like, a comment, a follow, a subscription, all of that fun jazz. And in addition to that, if you want to join our community, please consider joining our Patreon, which gives you access to our private Discord server and allows you to have first dibs on any of the new open pay-to-play slots that may arrive. On top of that, consider using our affiliate link to buy yourself some gamer beans, some good old-fashioned coffee that goes to support local and smaller businesses compared to the evil things called corporations. That's going to be everything from me. So, day in and day out, you all walk through this cavern. And it starts to strain against many of you. The consistency of it, the moisture, the thickness in the air that makes it difficult to breathe, the fact that none of you have now seen daylight for going on 4 days. You're not even really sure what time of day, if it is day right now. It is. And this is when this begins weighing a bit more heavily on people. Yes, you do, Gabe, and I will let you know if anything out of the ordinary stands out. I would like all of you to roll me charisma saves. Rowan and Nolf, who are hanging all the way in the back. You two are the only ones not in Gabe's aura. Professor Fulcrum, you've done this track a couple of times. You have advantage.
Okay, cool.
Oh, I got tons of charisma.
Charisma for days. Anyways.
How do you have a higher save than I do?
You technically have a higher save than he does. You get +3 from being in his aura of protection. His automatically calculated it in. Yours didn't. You have a +11. He gets a +10. So your save was technically 19.
Well, also, I forgot I needed you to override my charisma upgrade from my dexterity. That's what we did last time. I'll ask you after game.
That was confusing. Okay. Professor Fulcrum, on an 18, you are successful. Gabe, on a dirty 30, you are successful. N. It's around the 4th day. Where you begin to become uneasy. You really don't know where you are right now? And you're not sure if you're going to make it out. But that's just a thought in the back of your mind. That's all. Professor Fulcrum, you're having similar thoughts right now. And you try to keep that at bay as best as you can. But it is always a possibility that something can go wrong.
And drop, just FYI.
Oh, I thought they were just very upset with that rule. Cool. Like, God damn it, why me? Damn, people have been dropping more recently.
I've been having a lot more problems with Twitch lately.
With Twitch?
Yeah, like anytime I try to watch someone stream, all the time it just starts the spinning a lot more than it used to.
Really? That's weird.
Yeah.
But anywho, you're starting to have those thoughts. No?
I'm going to go ahead and pull out one of my vials.
Yeah.
And I'm going to drink it down. And I should wait till N gets here. Never mind. I'll wait.
Yeah. But anyways, the 4th day of the journey, you all are some depth inside of this mountain. Welcome back. All right. Did you hear everything I said?
I just heard that I was becoming uneasy.
You are becoming uneasy, and you have a fleeting notion that you may not make it out of this cavern alive. Just, minor panic attack-y type things. Claustrophobic a little.
Occasionally, when Fulcrum feels this way, he'll take out a little... You guys see him? He has the 2 bandoliers, and he's got some little vials on him. He takes one out and drinks and says, I set the gears in motion with the essence of creation. The gears move, I adjust the speed is the creation. It is the fulcrum that keeps the balance. I set my mind in motion. And as he drinks it, drinks the liquid, you'll see his eyes change. His left eye kind of goes black, and there's some, 3-dimensional white gears in his left eye, and his right eye becomes white, and there's small rotating, there's a center black sphere with other spheres rotating around it, similar to you might see an atom type thing in both eyes.
Gabe sees that and silently kind of falls back just enough to keep Fulcrum in his view as well.
And then after a couple seconds, the eyes clear up. Hey, Gabe, sweetheart, nothing to worry about. We got this.
So, on the 4th day of travel, you've been moving for some number of hours. You're not sure how many. And Gale kind of looks at each of you. So, we are going to have to make a pit stop while we're coming through here. I just need to check up on something that I left here my last time through.
Is it gonna take long?
No longer than an hour.
What is it?
The story I told you the other night was true. And when something that horrific happens, usually there is some lingering shockwaves in motion. I set up a little totem, asking it to allow me safe passage through here and to protect the people that come best with me. I just need to thank them properly, give a little ritual, and then take my totem back. Just, you all have to, stay close in case the energy does not like me.
Wait,
Oh,
the energy
okay.
that accumulates after the totem is removed?
Yes. Very intuitive. So, you all... Excuse me. Wow. There we go. You all walk deeper and you kind of descend a slope that once you get to it, you kind of notice is different from the other areas you've been stepping on. The stonework is almost adjacent to asphalt in its darkness and sheen. The walls have etchings of a very old civilization, dwarven in nature. Little drawings of probably their history.
As we're walking, I'm going to try to see if I can glean any information from the writing in the pictures. I do speak Dwarvish.
You do. Roll me a investigation then. And remember, you guys are going to have an hour down here. 24. This is an old and proud clan of dwarves that chose to become Duragar. They moved into the mountains in order to pursue deeper into Solemn. They excavated. They set up their communities, and they even set up trade routes with the dwarves of the Weldon clan, the ones that founded Weldon Top. One moment, I need to get an important set of names real quick.
Master Fulcrum hears a little tune in his head while he's...
Phenomena.
Trying to take out a level in the Great Old One Warlock.
Take one. So.
Oh, it looks like N froze again. They are not moving.
Damn.
Oh, you're back. You froze a bit, N.
So, you notice the 5 family names. Onyx, Guy, Marble, Flint, and Silver. Now, just for a small history on dwarves, dwarven families that combine with other clans and other families will combine their 2 names together for the surname. The clan that has more power or is larger will be the prefix, and the clan that is smaller or less influential will be the suffix. Dwarves do not have male name first, female name second. That was never important to them. It was the influence of the origin of the names that always mattered. So these are 5 original dwarven families that founded this community, who all chose to become Duragar, which are just dwarves that prefer living in the dark and digging deeper than the other ones.
Very cool.
But that's really all you find along the walls of entering into this community. Everyone else, as you're walking through, the stonework is beautiful and completely unscathed. It has survived through time with ease. It was so well constructed. There are archways symbolizing different homes, different places of interest, different communities within this civilization, all of which are completely absent. And only those of you who are a bit more perceptive start noticing the dried blood marks on the walls of these bedrooms, homes. It's eerie to be in a place that so easily can support life, and yet it's devoid of it. Sometimes having a high passive isn't always a good thing, guys. Ignorance is bliss. I think I pulled that on the Wednesday early game. That was fun. But anywho, as you're walking through here, you find grand halls, courts, fountains in disrepair. Occasionally, you'll hear the fluttering of wings, presumably a bat, moving past. And she leads you into a wider cavern. The ceiling goes up about 140 feet or so. The walls extend upwards of 300 feet from edge to edge. And there are numerous little tiny stone buildings. Notably, only a few of them have fallen, as if they were destroyed physically. All the rest of them are completely unscathed. But again, you start noticing the bloodstains that this mountain is seeped in. Okay, so I need to go perform my ritual. It's just up ahead inside of that house. Please do not distract me. It's very important that I commune with the ancestors of this home to be as respectful as possible. So, all of you have fun, hang out for a little bit, and I'll see you soon. She just kind of saunters very easily. All of you are starting to have a little anxiety, and she seems unmoved by it. Sorry, Gabe and Nolth have zero anxiety right now.
Somebody just wanna chat with me about something? Just, pass the time.
Sure.
Gabe, cast Divine Sense.
Sure. Andrew, why don't you, now would be a good time while we're talking to go ahead and pull out your cards and just hold them in your hands. You don't have to look at them.
Gabe, do you want me to whisper to what you sense? Or do you want me to say it out loud?
Okay, sure. Yeah, whisper it to me.
Alrighty.
I just TPK'd us.
Yep. I will whisper to you on roll 20, Gabe.
Okay.
And is like shuffling a deck of cards like they've never shuffled a deck of cards in their life.
And you can look at each picture and just go one by one. You don't have to focus on it, but just go through and just look at the pictures and enjoy them.
Look, pretty pictures. Gabe, it doesn't give you that sense. It just lets you know within your boundaries, if any exist. It doesn't give you direction, if they're moving in. You'd have to use more to discern that.
And while you're looking at that, and why don't you, I don't know, think about... Tell me more about you becoming this champion for the...
Raging Tide.
Raging Tide. I wanted to flip those words around, and then it was not...
The Tide Rager?
Yeah.
It sounds like something millennials would do.
I
am a millennial, I can say that. Okay, so, we found the temple with all the guardians that the champions that they come out of, and it's where they go to like rest when they're not needed. and I was asked. I was sponsored, and then so I went through the door when I was told I could, and I was in a room that was completely pitch black, and had to figure out what her tenants were from everything, and so big part of that was just I ended up talking with my sponsor a lot about stuff, and as we talked, I ended up saying 2 of the tenants, and I think that at some point before then I'd already figured out the third. But once I figured out the second one, like there were columns, and they turned to, and like Anna's just like a nervous wreck, like shaking, and like the 2 columns they like lit up, and then there was Wave, and it was right there, and as soon as I picked it up, it was like a giant trident that I couldn't barely hold, and then shrank down to this, and that was becoming the champion of the Raging Tide. And so far, we've had a few kind of good talks about stuff. It's funny that because we didn't really get along at first, and I actually kind of appreciate her more for that. So yeah, that's pretty much it. How'd you end up with Galinda?
Yes, that's it. Can I see your cards again for a minute?
And I'll hand them over.
And Professor Fulcrum's going to take them and just look at the backs of them again. And hand them back.
Roll me a history check, Professor.
Alrighty. Histoire.
Professor Fulcrum, you look at the back again, and then you look past N at one of the smaller looking homes. It has a furnace in there. It has a anvil, though the anvil's pointed edge is lying on the ground, snapped off of it. And right on the stone slab of a door, there's a symbol that matches the back of this card.
What direction? How far away is this approximately?
Maybe 30 feet away.
Interesting. And dear, follow me. The rest of you, if you want to, you can come too. But this is, and I hand her back the deck of cards.
Them.
them. Sorry, thank you. Hand them back the deck of cards.
Where are you going? We should stay here.
Just to this house up here. It's important.
The
I did
whole
not see it
area
last time.
seems dangerous. Let's wait until Gadriel gets back.
Mhm. I start walking toward the door. And there, Gabe, sweetheart, please come with us. It's 30 feet. It's just over here.
I'm gonna spend a Vire over on Fulcrum's shoulder and look through
Alrighty.
Vire's perception.
Fulcrum, you get the derpy-looking dragon just land on your shoulder and go.
And you get a boar following you.
Yep. The Herdmaster. Cool.
I would, but you get a Professor Fulcrum gets a message in his head. I would, but Gabe's really testy sometimes.
Testy.
When I get to the door,
Mhm.
just do a little quick look around for traps before I touch the door.
Please do. Investigation. No traps. However, as you get closer to the door, you kind of peer inside of this tiny home. There's a single large bed made of stone with a fabricked bed casing pushed in the corner. There's blood on the back of this door and on this wall, which connects to the outside. Though it's been long since dried, just the amount of it has permanently stained the stonework. You see over by the forge that there is a slit in it, roughly about 5 inches long, and towards the thick of it, almost an inch wide. And there's blood stained all around that area as well. It's roughly about 6 feet tall.
Okay.
And it looks like a weapon was thrust through the forge. A stone forge. And roll me a perception check. You are using your familiar's perception instead of your own. And pseudo dragons do not have advantage. 13. It's eerie and creepy like everything else.
Well,
Though you kind of notice the symbol on the door. And you're like, what? That's my cards?
Gabe
I'm gonna.
lays
I'm
his
gonna-
hand on Anne's shoulders, gives her a
Them.
rub. Them a rub.
they jump because they cannot sense anything other than
Immediately, the pseudo dragon looks back, and you're like, "Oh, it's Gabe."
like, ugh.
Just
pull
me,
out
just me.
Piece of paper
and can't
chalk.
hear you either.
Can't. I'm gonna pull out a piece of paper and chalk, and I'm gonna do a rubbing of the symbol on the door,
Okay.
and then I'll head back to the group. Oh,
The moment you touch the symbol,
yep.
I need you to give me a wisdom saving throw.
Woohoo!
Dun dun dun.
Okay, I feel good with
18.
that. Shit.
Do you now? Well, I feel
Oh.
bad.
Should have used the game inspiration. Dang it. Oh, we're good. Too late.
Fulcrum. As you touch the symbol, you hear a loud scream right by your ear that disorients you immediately. And you're about to have a vision. The decay and bloodstains all seep away from this location. You see a thriving community of dwarves walking around, having a very average day. And then you hear the sounds of cries and screams as hulking, large, broad-shoulders devils storm into this area. The Durgar try hiding their families, putting them into the homes, but these devils don't seem to care. They march, they slay, and they eradicate them, slewing them as if this is an infestation to them. You notice two individuals in particular. The one who's commanding all of them to move. A very tall, red-skinned tiefling man. Maybe just shy of 8 feet tall. Holding a bastard sword with intricate black symbols all the way down its hilt. And then there is a woman. Pale in complexion, blackened eyes, horns that swoop up and divot to frame almost a crescent around her cheeks, almost like fangs to the side of her. She's running into this room with a very wild look on her eyes, spinning around with a whip that has spikes all across it. She's not aiming to kill. She's aiming to hurt and to punish them. The tall man looks over at her, and you see disgust on his face. But he continues doing his job. He starts breaking into the homes and slaying people inside of them. When he gets to this house that you are looking into, as soon as he kicks the door open, you watch as a wide and sturdy dwarf with a split beard that's almost like mutton chops that grew a little thicker all the way down, raises a large hammer and strikes into the stomach. You look at the power and build of this dwarf, and yet that devil barely even budges. He picks the dwarf up by the head and smashes them against the wall. As soon as he drops it, he marches in, where there is the wife of the dwarf, holding up 2 smaller hammers and charging him. He grabs the wrist of the one, twisting it backwards, and pins her to the furnace, before taking this large greatsword and piercing through her, applying just enough force to pin her there. And when the man runs up to bash him in his back, the devil actually falls to a knee. It's at that moment you notice a child under the bed. The devil looks at the child, and he frowns. He crawls over to the bed and breaks the one leg, dropping it to a corner, leaving the child underneath it, out of sight. as he turns to grab the dwarven man, runs towards the wall, and smashes him against it. The devil looks back, walks over to the pinned woman, and you hear her please. She begs for the life of the child. And you hear the large devil reply. I would never kill a child. Draws the blade from her and walks out. It's at that moment that the vision ends, and everybody else saw Fulcrum lean away from the door, rub his ear, and then look around frantically for about 3 minutes straight. Unfortunately, Fulcrum, this sometimes happens to you.
Mm-hmm.
Are you,
I'm gonna-
you okay?
Walk over to the party. Did the door? Did you see what happened to me?
You grabbed at your ear and then you just stopped moving.
Okay, but I was still here though. I didn't disappear or anything.
No.
Okay, all right. Should probably check on the child. Yeah. I'm sorry. Okay, where was? Trying to get you to go with me to the door. Yeah. So, the door over there. Don't. It has the. It looks like the back of your card. It has the same symbol.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Give me a moment.
You turn to the side and immediately start vomiting. It's a hell of a ride having to experience that when it happens. But at least now you know you're here and not there, so.
Yes. Oh. Excuse me. I am. Need some
You
water.
alright?
Yeah, and I'm.
The mid thingies, that Rowan had here, and I'll pull one out of their pocket.
One of the fried ones. It does help with nausea.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yes, I will just keep an eye on me, and I'll take one of the fried ones. Oh, that helps the taste.
Yeah, I lost it when we teleported for the first time. So
And I'm gonna look over to where Galinda went.
Yeah. The door's still
Yes.
shut to that house.
Okay, I just wanted to see. Kind of good. How long was I over there? By the door?
All in all, that was only about a 5-minute interaction.
Yeah.
And she's probably going to be busy for at least another 40 minutes.
Okay. Yeah. Did
just
how
a
long?
few minutes.
Okay. All right. Okay. Whew. Ooh, I'm just gonna sit down for a moment, and I'm gonna sit down and
Yeah, it's okay.
pull out my book and start taking some notes.
Are you just writing down what happened here?
Yeah, more or less the vision that I saw.
Okay. How descript are you?
Pretty descript.
Okay. Because you still have a pseudo dragon on your shoulder.
Oh yeah.
Let me
Huh?
get him. Come here, Vire. Come here.
It floats over towards you. And then it telepathically
There
tells
he
you,
is.
but I'm curious what he was doing.
Well, then go look.
That's what I was doing.
You could have told me while you were over there.
I thought you could understand when I give you the look. We'll figure it out. And then it flies back over and curls around you, Fulcrum, kind of like nuzzles into your neck like it's trying to comfort you.
Oh, welcome back.
Perfect position to stare at the book. I'm fucking adorable. I will rule the world. So yeah. Were any of you doing anything during this time?
Rowan is gonna see if she can hear anything from the house that Galinda went into.
Are you gonna just walk up there, or are you gonna be sneaky about it?
She's gonna turn into a weasel. See if she can hear anything.
Alrighty. You turn into a weasel and Frank is left standing there, slightly bigger than you.
Rowan will beckon to him to follow.
Oh, you can
For tiny
communicate with each
weasel
other.
hand.
You're both small animals.
Oh, that's right.
Duh.
Frank, come on.
Duh. Yes. Alright, stealth check as weasel.
Okay. Hang on. Weasel. I
Not
don't
bad.
know.
+5.
Where the F?
Your weasel character sheet? You have it.
I don't see it.
It's in the player NPC.
Yes, I have the weasel sheet open. Where's the stealth?
Skills, perception, stealth. It's on the character
Oh, for
sheet
God's
page.
sake. Okay, found it. Thank you. It was right there.
9. You weasel your way over to the door and kind of like shoot your snout underneath the door frame to look in there. Super stealthy.
Fuck.
She looks down at you, where you see that there is a large pole stuck in or standing straight up off the ground with a pointed edge that has different flora, different symbols of antlers and of fish, and a long horn on one of the edges that she's currently communing with. And she looks down at you, then turns back to the totem. As I was saying, me and my allies just wish to walk past and through. We do not wish any of you harm, and we respect you all very greatly. The travesty that you all have experienced is immeasurable, and I am sorry. But we do not seek to affect you or to harm your home. So I plead with you all to allow us safe passage undisturbed by your family. And the totem begins shaking a little bit. And she looks back at you, Rowan, and in her little squeaky voice, get the fuck out of here.
Rowan's little weasel ears will just lay flat against her head. She'll pull her face out. She'll still hang out by the door, though.
Okay. Frank will look at you, crosses his arm, and just keeps watch. He's your spotter.
Yeah, Frank.
Duh. But anyways, you continue listening, and her pleas shape and mold, but it's almost like she's replying to somebody. How about you, Draco? Are you doing anything?
I am just keeping a watch on all this creepy shit because at this point I am highly scared something's coming out.
Alrighty. Roll me a perception check. Sounds about right.
Yep, all the stuff I'm good at.
It could be anywhere. It could be anything.
Going for that alert feat,
Yeah.
It's everywhere.
It's the tricking water down the hall. What tricking water? It's the tricking water down the hall.
Don't question me.
I know these things. However, you sit down, Professor Fulcrum, and go to begin writing. You look at the deck of cards, still kind of being held in your one hand since you never gave them back.
Yes, N. Yeah, Ender, I did not mean to hold on to these that long. I just, when I saw the symbol on the door, here's your, meditate on these for a little bit. Use them to help ease your nerves.
Okay. And it'll take them, and it's just like white knuckle gripping them.
Meditation. Rip. So anyways, N, you are having a real-time reply to you of everything Fulcrum is writing in his book from your pseudo-dragon. Every detail. And the dragon's like, oh, this is fascinating. So apparently, yeah, the whip, yeah, she was just trying to hurt them. She wasn't actually trying to kill them. Oh, wow, that's really tedious. Ooh, that's an Achilles. Okay, that's bad. Fascinating, isn't it? Oh, that's so sad. Poor baby. Poor baby.
And it's kind of like relaxing. Like, just listen to that, like, okay.
Yeah, that's what relaxes you. Hearing horror.
Well, it's like there's a story. It's a story. Like it's at least has A level in Bard, so stories are a thing.
Sure. And yeah, they will just continue to recount all of that to you. And roll me a history check.
I'm gonna use my game advantage.
Go for
Smart
it.
you.
Because I'm dumb.
N is dumb. 13. The descriptions of the devil just sit uncomfortably with you. Just... Nah, it can't be. Longhorns. Red? Can't be. Yeah, because he's pale. Like pale. Like almost blue pale. That was red.
But N also has disguise self.
Sure. You can come to whatever conclusion you want, but your history check does not point it out to you.
It's just gonna puzzle on that for a little bit.
So. Another 30 minutes go by. And at the end of that, Yolanda steps out and wipes a very sweaty brow. She is soaked with sweat and anxiety right now. Looks down at you, Rowan, in your little weasel form. Do you commune?
Rowan will just keep staring up at her.
You know I understand your language.
Rowan will try to test her, and instead of speaking, will literally just say a squeak.
Squeak.
Squeak. You got a thumbs up from Frank. Uh-huh. Okay. What's a weasel's AC?
It's. Hang on.
I don't believe it's higher than a 15.
Armor class 13.
All right. She lifts her totem and just bunks right on your head, which is exactly enough damage to pop you out into Rowan form.
Am I sitting on my butt?
Yes.
Okay. Ronald Rubberhead.
Squeak.
So, how'd it go in there in Ronald Point?
They're upset with us for being here, but they will allow us to pass without intervening. Luckily, it would appear that none of you disturbed their rest, which is good. I half expected one of you to fuck up.
Just looks at Noel.
She's looking at Rowan.
Yeah. Rowan says that.
Just a personal observation. Anyways, Fulcrum, are you feeling okay? You look a little sick.
I'll be good in a bit. I just had one of those episodes.
Another one?
Yeah.
Why didn't you have one last time you were here?
I'm not exactly sure. I saw.
Maybe interacting with the cards?
Well,
What cards? Oh, your little playing cards. I thought you were playing
Yes.
Goldfish.
she has a deck of cards, and
They.
they.
You slip it again, I remove your tongue.
Anne has a deck of cards that they. There's a similar symbol on one of the doors here, as to the back of their playing deck.
And I'll hand a card over to her to look at.
She'll take the card, flick it around, bend it, flips it. Infernal. Interesting. Tosses it back to you, Anne.
But yeah, I'll be fine. I assume everything went as planned in there, and we are good.
Do any of you speak Infernal? I do not.
Stares it in.
She'll look
I
down.
do.
Oh, you speak Infernal. Okay. Well, translate the card. She hands it to you.
Okay.
You've stared at this card 100 times. You're like, what? It's a card.
Where's the infernal?
Oh, it's inscribed between the symbols of the bird and the symbol of the deer. Roll an investigation, Ed. Unfortunately, I only recognize the script. I'm not, well, I never bothered to learn that
before
one.
she rolls.
They.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, before
N.
N does the thing. I am going to. I'm getting player and character mixed up. I'm going to put my hand on N and say, "Don't worry, dear. You've got this. You've got it." And guidance.
Okay.
Yay, supports.
Yay!
Not the only one who could do it now. It's not like it's gonna help.
Chronal shift.
This is
Roll
a
again.
mess.
And immediately, like, tilts their head. You're like, no, try again. All right, roll again.
Come on.
Roll your d4.
Better than a 1. Let's go.
Trying.
Don't roll a 1. Oh, okay. 12. Jesus.
DC was 11.
No, the DC was 12.
No.
Yeah, that's why I said don't roll a 1.
Uh,
I made it.
Yeah.
With all that help, I made it.
Oh Jesus, Fulcrum. Whew, rough day. They tilt their heads
I thought you were
slightly
gonna
less
say another
further.
F word there. You're like,
Yeah, Fulcrum's the new word for that.
Fulcrum.
Anyways, Fulcrum.
Yes.
Or N, sorry.
yeah, N's doing the investigating.
You tilt your head to a different angle and you start realizing there are infernal scripts here.
Oh.
The scripts. Do you want me to whisper this to you? Or,
Yeah.
okay. Keep in mind, I've had this plan since session 2. It's these cards have been here a while.
Oh my gosh.
You mean the gift that N got at birth?
Oh. Oh. Oh.
Yeah, N's a little slow.
While you're doing that, I'm gonna go over to Rowan. So tell me, little mama, how did you meet Frank?
I don't know. Look at Frank and then back at Professor Fulcrum. I purchased him from a traveling salesman.
And how did you end up picking him, or did he pick you, or how did that happen?
Well, I looked in the bag and he looked like the grumpiest of the bunch, and you know, if I'm a sucker for anything, it's a grumpy rat. So I picked him.
I see. So he obviously looked different than the rest. Did his attitude, demeanor?
He was very surly.
When did then you guys were just bonded from the beginning? I mean, you seem very, very close.
I don't know. It was like any relationship. We just kind of got to know each other. Now we're just, buds. So Rono grab Frank and put him back in her fanny pack.
This traveling salesperson, did he or she or did they mention where they were from?
I mean, maybe.
But you didn't really. It's one of those things you buy. You don't really pay attention to the person, but the rather you more to the magnificent treasure that you just got.
Yeah, I mean, N's closer to the salesman and talked to him more than I ever did.
Oh, they were with you, N was.
Yeah, a while back. Actually, a way while back, if I remember correctly.
Very
Get some
nice.
fancy room in a fancy inn.
Ooh. I did not realize that you and they have been friends for so long.
Yeah. And it'd probably have more of the details. But I think at one point they bought a fancy dress from the salesman. I can't remember.
It's armor.
Yeah, there you go.
It's just fabulous.
And will demonstrate.
With where your mind's at, it turns into like either a funeral gown or a wedding gown.
Funeral.
Okay.
God.
All right. I dress for the occasion, yes.
And it's still armor.
Yep.
And Rowan will walk over to N and showcase it like Vanna White. That's right.
I was hoping for the Will Smith.
What's the Will Smith?
Oh, it's the way he always advertised his wife, just like, look at her. So, N, yeah, that's what the cards say. All of them.
N is having this conversation, but is on the inside like, there's some panic.
So, if all of you are done, the spirits are a bit antsy and are very forgetful in a short period of time, so shall we?
Yes.
Wonderful. She turns and begins walking, just strutting along. Again, the only person in this party at this point, aside from Gabe, who's unfazed by this area.
Gabe kind of leads and to follow.
Gabe, you have to wonder. I mean, it's justifiable why you're not skeeved out, trauma. But what kind of trauma did she go through to be completely immune to all of this? But anyways, you all continue walking, leaving through the ruins, walking further out and past them. And once you get to the back end of this cavern, there is a magnificent set of double doors. They stretch up to the sky about 25 feet, arching down like a gateway before you. The doors are very intricately drawn with beautiful, beautiful pieces of art. Wondrous stories of the Dwarven clans that resided here and called this place their home. Now, ruins. Yolanda looks at you and, can you thaumaturgy?
Yes.
Do it on the door. It'll be badass.
Okay. I'm ready. Just.
And leans backwards, spreading their hands, and all of you watch as the two doors slamming open magically. And all of you are like, the fuck? Most overpowered cantrip in the game. Fuck you, door!
Right?
The door easily weighs like 10 tons each. Cantrip. Open.
I have that and prestidigitation. I am unstoppable.
Yes, it's like you're a level 1 bard.
Oh. Oof. Oof.
Be right back. I'm gonna go cry now.
But anyways. As you guys all walk out, you look up at the beautiful sky, seeing nighttime for the first time in over 4 days.
Relaxing.
Fulcrum, twitch your fingers, and the doors shut behind you all. As you all look up at the beautiful sky, she'll look at all of you. Well, I am ready to keep moving, of course. She gestures to a different set of double doors across away from you about 60 feet. But given the time of day, we could also sleep.
Sleep.
Yes, probably a good idea. And
I need some fresh air and just like shivers. And like he's like caught between wanting to hold the deck close and like like I could use some fresh air.
Very well. Well then, begin setting up your little magic. I am going to hunt. I'll be back.
Can I go with you?
Sure thing. She immediately twists, and with a flourish, you watch as two gigantic eagle wings spread and shoot into the sky.
Oh. And I'm taking off, trying to keep up.
You're actually faster than an eagle, because monk. Monk bird faster than real bird.
Monk bird fast.
Unfortunately, Rowan, you cannot fly yet.
Someday.
someday soon, I would think.
Who knows? Maybe after you guys get to a destination. But yes. You all breathe and begin setting up your camp. Oh wait, music change. My bad.
Rave music.
No. We're going with this time. No.
Gabe, do you think we should do the thing we talked about for Enda sleeping? We can still put it in the hut, but I think we can, maybe about 3 feet deep and 2 feet high.
Well, we've managed most of this trip without it, but
Okay. We don't have to. I just didn't know.
I think we're good.
So, Jero, if possible, I want to use mold earth to carve out, to move the dirt about 3 feet so that N can be. So she has a 3-foot drop that she's in, and then. So that they have a 3-foot drop and then 2 feet up. So that way, if they were to get out of their spreaders and try to cause anything, they'd have to actually get out of the.
Oh, you're burying them. Cool.
Well, the dirt's not on top. It's just.
Yeah. You're just tossing them in a hole.
Yeah, more or less.
And you are now buried in a hole.
She just accepts it.
Yeah, they're just like, well, I didn't think this could get any worse, but now it has.
Think of it as comfort.
No, I don't. Comfort is a down bed with linen sheets or satin sheets, and then a hot bubble bath on the other side of the room with a bottle of champagne. That is comfort.
I see.
Gotta get a bubble barf. Amazing show, by the way. Big Mouth, if you haven't seen it, watch it. It's a little disturbing, but it is fucking hilarious.
I'll check it out. I was just wondering, as a player, this is not... Take, mold earth, control water. What can heat up, and then create water maybe, and then you can make your own hot tub while you're out.
Yeah, you could. And you also have your dome of I choose the temperature.
Yeah. Ooh.
Air conditioning. Well, unfortunately, and eventually you do fall asleep.
Mm-hmm.
And you return back to that bleak world. This time when you appear, he seems to be scratching into a wall, playing tic-tac-toe with himself. Looks at you and then just looks back at the wall. scratching.
You say I'm boring.
There is literally nothing else to do here. But hey, I'm winning.
And then you tied on these last 3, though.
My opponent is very skilled.
Or you're just not very smart.
One way or the other, I am correct. By the way, how was your day?
Same as it's been for the past 4 days. Inside.
Yeah, it must really suck to always be inside, never allowed to leave.
Yeah. Cool thing is I get to.
Yes. Congratulations.
Oh, thank you.
Well, anyways, would you like to play a game?
I'm good.
Very well. I'd just kick your ass anyways.
You're not gonna tip me with that.
Ah, yes, you're mentally impervious to, things like that. You've made it very aware. You've, It's not like something as simple as, childhood trauma would ever bother you.
Yeah, you know.
Those cards were interesting, by the way. And those thoughts you had? I wasn't aware that you knew Lord Morningstar.
He's a pal.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
You made a very dangerous friend.
I tend to do that.
Not in a good way. See, devils, real devils, I should be concerned about them. If you die by normal means, I'll find a new host. But if you die surrounded by devils, I have no host to go to.
And you can't jump to, like, animals?
I can, but after I rip off their skin, they usually become fairly useless.
Unfortunate.
Yes, I know. But it's so tempting when you have those fangs to just chew and chew and chew. Haha, I win. Moves over to the wall. But yes, try not to get yourself killed by knowing that secret.
I'll try.
And be sure to, well, for both of our sakes, not let any devils know. I hear they're still very pissed off at him. Yeah.
For leaving?
You know nothing. Your friend told you nothing. No, I see it. You know nothing.
I mean, that's kinda my deal.
Well, not for leaving, but cheating. He's a liar.
But they couldn't lie.
Oh. That is the belief, isn't it? That is the inquiry. The intrigue. Funny thing about him, we have no idea who his mother is. Nobody does. I have my own theories. And that might justify why he can lie. But he tried battling his brother in a duel. And lost. Like a sore little loser. Cried how unfair and how His brother cheated when the Lord himself was watching.
Uh-huh.
Oh, do you want to know more?
You might have my interest.
So you care about devil culture, but not demon culture. Rude, I may add.
Eh,
But nonetheless, I
It's
understand.
a little more personal.
Is it now?
Mm-hmm.
You sure about that?
Fairly sure I am a tiefling.
Wait, you... I am so confused. You don't know. Tieflings are not innately devils. Not all of them.
Huh?
Tieflings are people with fiendish origin in their blood. And there are two kinds of fiends. Devil and demon.
Hmm.
Have you ever seen a devil with legs like yours? Hooves, fur?
No?
Have you ever seen a demon like that?
No?
You did, actually. When you fought in the ruins. That Minotaur?
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So you think yourself a devil, and you think yourself high and mighty for it. And you never
Honestly,
even
before I
entertained
even
the
left,
thought.
I didn't even think anything of it.
You really think? Well, I will say something. I am very disappointed in your father for not educating you more properly. Honestly, demon culture is more influential than devil.
Depends where.
It doesn't. Demons technically have existed longer. We've done more.
Yeah.
We have stretched to every aspect of life and influenced it. Even before the gods, we existed. Or at least the gods that you know of. Devils are just quieted little bitches, doing as the Celestials say, and stopping the mean old demons from having any control.
Yeah, I respect them more.
You respect them for just bending over and accepting celestial guidance. He does a very rude gesture with his hands that I won't do on stream. Why do you hate demons so much?
For one is possessing me.
That's just one instance.
Two, that's kind of what you do.
Not all of us.
A lot of you.
That's what I
Oh.
do. That is narrow-minded, mind you.
I have been attacked by more demons than I have devils.
Maybe physically, but at least we don't keep it behind your back.
I was greeted and taken. I was given dinner by a devil.
Yes.
So, yeah, devils are winning.
Mm-hmm. Now, your personal interactions, true, but what about that dwarven culture? Eradicated? Mutilated? Genocide? So you know a demon wouldn't do that. Me? I would have enjoyed taking over one of their bodies and probably killed maybe a couple of dozen of them or so, but genocide? Where's the fun in that? They just decided none of them should exist. Now that's not very nice, is it?
No, you have a point. However, I think you both are. How should I put this? God, it's too bad that Rowan isn't here.
Don't use the E word. I really hate it.
The
It's
what?
demeaning. The E word. Evil.
I was gonna say a bag of weasel dicks, but
I like that one. I like that one a lot.
yeah, that's
But we
about
are.
fitting.
I think we want different things. That's the difference. I want freedom. Demons in
Yeah.
general want freedom. Devils want to feel powerful while bending over for somebody else.
Granted, that can be fun.
Never experienced it, not my thing.
You're missing out.
I don't usually do the bending. Just when you get those hip bones just right, they just pop. He's talking about snapping people in half, by the way. There was nothing sexual in that statement. Yeah, just because you're evil doesn't mean you have to always be fucking.
I mean, it's good. It's always so. Nah, just not really my style. Especially when freedom means, hurting other people.
Well, that's what it means to me. What do you expect? I was born there. The other ones that weren't born there, they just want to exist. It's sad, really. Being called a failure? Ugh.
Well, by whose opinion?
The gods. They decide that we aren't worthy. And I will admit, for a moment of sanity, I probably shouldn't be allowed to wreak havoc in Solemn. Within reason. There. But there's other creatures that were born in the wrong place at the wrong time. And therefore got lumped in with the rest of them that fucked up. Now, I don't really care that much about them, but it is unfortunate that all of them are treated with such malice and are viewed lesser because of creatures like me.
Well, maybe you shouldn't be as awful as a being, and
How
you
do
should
I
be more-
change that? I crave watching blood. I crave breaking things. It's who I am. It's how they, he points up, made me.
And
If I think about other things, like daisies, or like sex, as you're always thinking about, my mind
Not
immediately
always.
goes to snapping and breaking them. I don't choose to, but I accept that I do this, and I have no control over this. My mind needs it.
so you're always talking about wanting freedom and not being like what the gods say, but yet you're just like, you know what, the gods made me this way, so I gotta be this way. Like, that makes
He
You see where
very
I'm coming from?
quickly jolts at you and grabs you by your neck, and for the first time, you feel that frigid cold against it as he grips you. I do not have the luxury of free will like you mortals do. We don't get that. They decided we don't have it. I've tried breaking it, but every fiber of my being fights back. My body starts killing itself. If I don't crave destruction, and they made me. You have free will. Enjoy it. I don't. He relinquishes your neck. And as he's kind of stepping back, you see these tendrils swirling around him, grabbing him, and pulling him away. I don't get freedom. It's at that point everybody wakes up, and it's at that point that we end the session. Players, thank you for playing. Viewers, thank you for watching. I hope you all enjoyed yourselves, and we will be back again next week. Don't go anywhere. Goodbye.